Welcome back, everyone, for another deep dive. You know how much we love getting into the nitty-gritty.
Absolutely.
And today we're going deep on something.
Yeah.
Pretty personal, actually.
Wow.
We're looking at just one chapter
All right.
from a memoir, and I'm going to keep the title and the author under wraps for now. I think it lets the story speak for itself a little better that way.
I like that.
But what this chapter does so well
Yeah.
is it gives us this window into someone's childhood, and specifically how it felt to grow up
Okay.
feeling less loved than their sibling.
It's a tough subject.
Yeah.
But so important. I mean, this chapter really captures the raw emotion of what it feels like when love is
Well, not quite even.
unevenly distributed.
Exactly.
And it starts right from the first line.
Oh, wow.
It is difficult to describe the pain of growing up in an environment where every gesture, every word, every look reminds you that you are not loved equally.
Woof.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's heavy right from the start. It is, and it's so powerful because it's not just saying, I wasn't loved enough.
Right.
It's about those constant reminders, the subtle ways someone is made to feel like they don't quite belong.
Yeah, like you're othered in your own family.
Yeah, and it's isolating.
Yeah.
And it all comes back to that human need to feel loved and accepted, especially by family.
For sure. And the author gives us some pretty specific examples of how their grandparents acted,
Okay.
especially the difference between how they treated the author versus their brother.
Interesting.
So they weren't even there when the author was born,
Oh, wow.
but then showered the brother with all this attention and gifts.
It's amazing how much those early interactions matter. Even seemingly small things
Yeah,
can have a big impact.
I can see that.
I mean, think about it from a baby's perspective. They don't know the reasons why they might be treated differently,
Right.
but they feel it
Totally.
in how they're held, touched, spoken to.
It's like their first sense of belonging.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It shapes how they see their place in the world.
And this wasn't just a one-time thing. Even everyday things were different.
Oh, really?
Like snacks,
Okay.
drinks.
Wow.
The brother always got the good stuff.
That constant difference in treatment, that's where the real damage can be done.
Yeah.
And sometimes it might not even be intentional.
Really?
There's this thing called unconscious bias.
I've heard of that.
It means we have these ingrained preferences
Yeah.
that affect how we treat people without us even realizing it.
Like what?
Well, let's say a parent loved sports growing up.
Okay.
They might unconsciously favor a child who shows athletic talent.
Because it's familiar.
Right. It aligns with their own values.
That makes a lot of sense. Makes you think about how much even small actions can send a message to a child.
Absolutely. And for a kid, it's hard to put those feelings into words, especially complex ones like being treated unfairly. They might not have the language for it.
Yeah.
So those feelings can get bottled up.
Well, that can't be good.
No, it can have some lasting consequences.
And then the author talks about Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
It's supposed to be so joyful,
Yeah.
but it just highlights the differences even more.
The symbolism of gifts, especially around the holidays, it's fascinating.
What do you mean?
For kids, it's not just about the object itself.
It's about what it represents.
Exactly. It's a physical expression of love, value inclusion.
So if one kid gets less,
It's like a message about their worth in the family.
it's heartbreaking. The brother gets this awesome new bike and a toy tractor. The author gets practical clothes.
Oh, wow.
You can just feel the author's disappointment.
Yeah, this chapter really hits home for people. We've all felt that disappointment.
As kids, yeah.
But the way it's described here, the contrast between the brother's joy and the author's letdown, it sticks with you.
Makes you think about what that does to a kid's self-esteem.
It's important to remember resilience, though. Even though this chapter is full of pain,
Yeah.
it ends on a hopeful note.
Oh, yeah, the little voice inside.
The author finds this small voice inside,
Yeah.
promising things will get better.
Such a small detail, but so powerful.
What do you think it means?
I think it's about inner strength. Refusing to let this define them.
Right. It's a reminder that even in tough situations, we can cope. We adapt.
Yeah.
We build our own self-worth, regardless of how others treat us.
That's a great takeaway.
Right.
Makes me think about anyone who's gone through something similar. How do you move on from that?
It's different for everyone, but some common struggles might be with self-esteem, trusting people,
Yeah.
or needing constant validation.
Interesting.
And relationships can be tricky because those early experiences shape our expectations.
Makes sense. Really highlights how those early years stick with us.
And this was just one story, but it touches on something universal.
We all want to belong and to be loved for who we are.
Absolutely. And sometimes just knowing you're not alone in those feelings can be so powerful.
I love that. As we wrap up this deep dive, it was a personal one. I want to leave you with this. What experiences from your childhood shape how you understand love and belonging? This chapter might have sparked some thoughts for you, maybe even some tough ones. If so, think about journaling about it. It could help you unpack those feelings and memories.
Good idea.
Thanks for joining us. Catch you next time.